Hello, guys. My name is Apostate Ali. It's nice to have you guys here. Today, we're gonna dissect a very grim topic in Islam, which is minor marriage. And the thing is that there are many victims, even today, that are unfortunately being married away at a very young age because of the troubling texts in Islam. A lot of times, the apologist says that us apostates, we do not understand it, that we're taking things out of context. But the thing is, we are the people who look closely. We ask questions. We just refuse to look away. And so today, we're here to document the facts, to break down the arguments, and give voice to the truth. No gaslighting, no distractions. Without further ado, let's go straight into the dissection.
You'll notice child marriage is prohibited in the Quran, but that was not quoted. Child marriage is prohibited in the Quran. So when Muslims read a hadith which contradicts the Quran, they can reject the hadith, but they do not reject the Quran.
Okay, let me just pause it right there. I mean, this is really, really disturbing, guys. This is really disturbing because child marriage is addressed in the Quran itself. He's lying about his religion, and apostate scholar, like, let's set the record straight. If you may tell us which verse in the Quran talks about child marriage and why it was revealed.
This is, of course, very wrong. Surah Al-Talaq, which is Surah 65, Ayah 4. واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائكم إن ارتبتم فعدتهم 3 أشهر واللائي لم يحضن, which means those who have not menstruated. People often, or like I've heard arguments from Quranists, and I'm sure Kafir Rivat has heard the same thing, and you have heard the same thing as well, and Legend Emerald as well, that it means women who have delayed menstruation or have some sort of medical condition that prevents them from menstruating. The reason it's not this and it means the young girls is because, one, the ones that have delayed menstruation or the ones who have like a skin that prevents menstruation from happening, in fiqh we call them al-radqa wal-qarna, which means those who have like a skin covering the opening of the vagina where it doesn't let the menstruation to go out, or the ones who have like a bone in the pelvic area. These menstruate in fiqh. So technically speaking, there's no actual like blood coming out, but in fiqh she menstruates, and these have a different ruling, which is called the rulings of al-radqa wal-qarna. So the reason it is not yet, or those who have not menstruated yet, is then because we already have a ruling for the other medical conditions. And the second thing is the athar. If you open the tafsir of anyone, and I mean this, any actual like self-respecting scholar, al-Sa'di, al-Baghawi, al-Qurtubi, al-Tabari, Ibn Kathir, Jalal al-Din al-Suyuti, anyone, you will find something called Asbab al-Nuzul, which was why this verse was revealed. So already in Surah al-Baqarah, we already have al-Iddah, which was discussed before, in verse والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن 3 قروء ولا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن. Then, which says, if we open tafsir, for example, Ibn Kathir, which is the most reliable, I wouldn't say reliable, but the most inclusive, they have said, Ya Rasulullah, O Prophet, you have discussed the iddah for the various women, but in that verse, in the Baqarah verse, you left 2 people. The young and the very old and the one who are pregnant. And then this verse came down, which addresses, like we have read before, the menopause, the young, and the one who are pregnant, in that order, in that exact order. So now we have a very important distinction, which is the iddah is not just marriage. The iddah is consummation.
Yes, this happens after the marriage. So basically, like Quran is saying that like it's not even in the premise A where you get married, but it's well beyond premise A. It's in premise B where it's talking about consumption of the marriage and talking about divorcing. Am I right? Like so, it's
Yes.
it's well past
Mhm.
the premise of marriage, and so it's normalizing marriage. It's telling, okay, it's marriage, and now what do we do? That's what it's all about.
And the thing is, the not only does the verse go beyond marriage, but by addressing talaq, it permits marriage, which was what you said, and not only marriage, consummated marriage, because iddah is only given to consummated marriages, meaning, you are allowed to have intercourse with them, and this is because of another verse which says إذا نكحتم المؤمنات ثم طلقتموهن من قبل أن تمسوهن فما لكم عليهم من عدة تعتدونها, which means if you marry someone and you divorce them before having penetrative intercourse, there is no iddah. There is no iddah period.
Thank you, Apostate Scholar. I mean, there you go, guys. Like, when these people get online and they lie about their religion, I don't understand. Like, do they not know that we have internet? That we can just search these things online? I mean, basically, like, whatever we said, like, you can see the references displaying on the screen as we speak, and we can all go and search them. Like, this is not 7th century, you know, to come up with all these excuses, all these deflections. It's really unfortunate that Apologetics goes to this level. But anyway, let's just watch the rest of this video.
Secondly, that the hadith relating to the marriage of Aisha, there was a method of the Arabs that when they would pass into their teen years, they would mention their age through the numbers. They would say, for instance, I was 7 years old, and this happens in Bukhari as well. One of the companions, he says, I would lead my tribe when I was 7 years old. I would lead them in the prayer. Every Muslim knows that a 7-year-old is not permitted to lead the prayer. What that companion meant, he was 17 years old, and this is also a Jewish habit also.
Okay, that's where the video ends. And guys, I mean, he's gonna get debunked so easily. But first of all, Desert Emerald, like, what do you think about it?
Hi, everyone. So them counting age from puberty, it's actually wrong because there is no historical evidence that's actually true. Like, pre-Islamic Arabs and even Muslims, they used to just count age from birth like us. It was normal. Like, even back then, they used to count age from birth until death. So there was no such thing as counting age from puberty.
Thank you, Desert Emerald. I mean, like, of course, like, humans have been counting their age properly. Like, I have no idea how these people can even come up with things like that. And I'm not even sure, like, if Apostate Scholar could just let me know. Like, I'm pretty sure that what he said doesn't even exist in the books. Apostate Scholar?
He says that he says that when people say I'm 7 years old, they mean 17. First of all, that has and I've read a lot of seerah books, البداية والنهاية, سير علام النبلاء, تاريخ الطبري. There is no mention of what he said at all. He then cites the story of Amr ibn Salamah, and when he said that I became an imam and prayed as an imam in front of the people, and he says, how can he do this when he's not, he's under the age of taklif? First of all, one, there was no issue about him being an imam. No one has said this. Two, they have said that, and this is a Sahih hadith, the imam can be the person who most knows the Quran or has most of the Quran memorized. So if he's young and he's the person who has the most memorized or memorizes the most Quran, he is then allowed to be an imam. So because who is allowed to be an imam in al-nafl can be an imam in a fard as well. This is because of the hadith, يَأُمُّ الْقَوْمَ أَقْرَأَهُمْ عَلَى الْقُرْآنِ. So this is his salah is permitted because he is not like stupid. He's not sleeping. And then the hadith of teach your people, teach your sons or your offspring to pray at 7 and beat them on it at 10. وَفَرَّقُوا بَيْنَهُم بِالْمَضَاجِعِ. So he is allowed to be an imam because of the reasons I've stated. So please, people, when you read these things, go check what people have said. And this is very easy. Like you can just type the Amr ibn Salamah. Just type it in Amr ibn Salamah being an imam at 7 years old. No fiqh scholar said that he is not permitted to be an imam. This is wrong.
You know what? I actually agree with you. It's unbelievable that they just say whatever comes to their mind, and it doesn't even have substance. Like these deflections they give, they don't have any substance. So if you go and check the sources, and we're also displaying it on the screen, like if you go and search it, you can see we have internet now. I have no idea like how they could just come up with these things. And like we're on the topic of deflection, like there is a video that I would really like to pull up, and this is from somebody who's very famous. I mean, this is one of those deflections that I really can't believe that actually exist. So here we go.
You ask me how old was Aisha radiallahu anhu, I will tell you I do not know and I do not need to know. Finished.
Well, first of all, he cites the ليس معلوم من الدين بالضرورة, which is a part of the science of الاحتكام بالجهل. First of all, that rule does not apply to him. There is a saying, correct, that the average Muslim is only, in some, of course, this is a difference in opinion as well, is only required to know the basis of his religion. So anything else other than the basics of his religion, or what is not inherently known. For example, things like our prayers 5 times a day, Dhuhr is 4 rakat, Asr as well is 4 rakat. These are, you have to know these things. These are the basics of your religion, for example. Other things like fiqh, you are not required as a Muslim, an average Muslim, to know, which is called al-ihtikam bil-jahl. This applies to the average Muslim, or the average Muslim in some, of course, in some fiqh circles. Mufti Menk, you are a Mufti. You are not permitted to have this al-ihtikam bil-jahl. Knowing just the basics of your religion as a Mufti is wrong. And this is what the basis of takfir is, where for example, I cannot go and say, for example, someone is a kafir because they say that Aisha is 18 years old, for example, and they reject Sahih Hadith. Even though I would be correct. However, we cite the al-ihtikam bil-jahl, or ليس بمعلوم بالضرورة, that the average Muslim is not required to know the intricacies of, or the insides of fiqh and tashri'ah as an average Muslim. They're only required to know what is the basics. Mufti Menk, if you do say that she is 18 years old, 21 years old, or any other age than the agreed upon age by ijma' of 6 years old and 9 years old, you are, and this is not my words, of course, this is the words of people like al-Uthaymiyyeen ibn Baz and the Jumhur al-Fuqaha, who reject your ihtikam bil-jahl and say you are rejecting Sahih athar in al-Sunnah, and you are a Mufti. This basics of religion does not apply to you.
Yes, this is exactly what I'm thinking. Like, he cannot say that, I don't know. You simply can't say that. To enter Jannah,
He can say I don't
know.
know, but he cannot reject it. He's rejecting Sahih athar as a Mufti and saying it's not basics of religion. You are not, you are Mufti. The basics of religion don't apply to you. You are supposed to know more than the basics.
Yes, and here's the funny part. Like we, as for example, me, we go to school. Like we don't do any degree like you have done. We just go to school. But our national education system has Islamic studies all the way from preschool all the way up to high school. You know, and every day we have to study Islam. And but even then, we learned even in primary that Aisha was 6 years old when she got married. Like it's in the books. Right. We know as normal students that she was 6 years old when she got married. When he says that scholars are actually arguing about it, I feel like if I want to hold on to faith, I would feel like, okay, maybe I was given the outdated version of the textbook, you know? Like, this is a deflection. Like, he's creating confusion, you know? Like, let's say, now I have finished high school. When I went to university, we had an Islamic module as well. I finished it. And I'm very clear that in all the textbooks that I read, that Aisha was 6 years old when she was married. Like, I remember, like yesterday, my teacher telling me that. Now we have someone respected like Mufti Menk coming and telling, and now I'm wondering that, okay, maybe like this is that tricky part of the Islamic studies because I didn't study Islamic studies so deep. And so maybe this is the tricky part where the scholars are actually debating about it. And I had this old version of it, you know? And I think like many people would fall, you know, when someone as reputable as Mufti Menk, when he says something like that, I believe that many people will fall into this trap, you know? And what do you think when somebody as learned as Mufti Menk does a move like this and creates a deflection like this and confusion among the believers?
Yes. The Wahhabi in me wants to say that causing fitna is amongst the believers is kufr.
Yes, that's where I want to go as well. Like he's causing fitna because like now I'll have to go back and tell my Islamic teacher, what the hell are you telling me? There's Mufti over there. Now he's telling me that. There's the scholars
are. Which is but he is Mufti Menk is engaging in something called at-tawriyah or ma'arid, or most famously known as at-taqiyya. He is of course there are comments about her being 18, 19, 21, 24. Anyone can say anything. But again, the author is da'if. You have to examine. You can. The problem is, these are the same people that say, we are the ummah of the isnad. We are the ummah of Sahih al-sanad. Then let's examine when people examine the ages 18, for example, it comes from da'if people. People like Abdul Rahman ibn Abi al-Zanad. He's weak. Tahdhib al-Tahdhib from Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Imam Ahmad, imagine, Imam Ahmad is saying, you are weak. His narrations are unreliable. Ibn al-Ma'in said he's not one of those whose narration are to be used as evidence by the scholars of Hadith. So even some have said that they have saw Ibn Mahdi cross out the hadiths of Abdul Rahman ibn Abi al-Zanad, who is the main source of the age of Asma being over 10 years old, and her calculation now becomes 18. And then Abu Hatim as well, he says his hadiths are to be written down, but they are not to be used as evidence. Al-Nasa'i has said his hadiths are not to be used as evidence. Again, like Ahmad ibn Abi Uday have said some of what he narrates is not corroborated or is not backed by other people. He's a da'if muhaddith. So like, what are we doing? Would you want me to flip the script on these people as well, and then put the da'if hadiths and the mawdu' hadiths to use? What is this?
Yeah, like if you're trying to bring da'if hadith into the picture, then we have even worse hadiths that will tear Islam apart.
Yes.
Like if you're trying to play
And the problem
PR,
is, people do come to me with these narrations, and I know they are da'if, and I tell them it is da'if. So either you have no issue with it, or you then have an issue, and then you have to look at critically at what you believe in.
I think it's because, these people that are trying to play the PR version of Islam, and when they say things like this, and people, of course, like in this age, we find it a huge moral issue that somebody like the Prophet could marry a child. So we all have a problem with that. And because people want to believe this excuse before the actual fact, so they just shut down and they say, okay, this, like Mufti Menk is saying this, that a scholar is saying this, okay, so she might be 18. I'm going to stick to it because that means my religion is moral and I have no more problems anymore. And then they believe it. And when they hold on to this, now they become angry very quickly, when somebody else is trying to tell them differently. They're thinking like, you are creating fitna in the ummah, like people like us apostates, when we try to correct them and when we bring Sahih Hadiths, they think that we are the ones who's making the fitna. But unfortunately, I want to tell the dear audience as well that it's not us. We're telling it exactly as it is in the religion. It's scholars that's creating the fitna. It's not us. We're saying it exactly as it is. Of course, there are many scholars, unlike the ones that we're seeing, that they actually agree, according to the Sahih Hadith, that Aisha was married when she was 6, and Muhammad consummated the marriage when she was 9. I mean, it's from Sahih Hadith. There are so many evidences from all the books, all the mazhabs, and everything. Compared to the time that we have, the topic is so massive. It's so much evidences and some of the things that are really unbelievable. But I don't think I can pack it in one video. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make this a series, and this is going to be the first entry to the series. And the series is just going to get better. But I think that it's fair that that we also discuss the Sahih Hadiths. And Desert Emerald, if you may, please.
So yes, actually there's a lot of background evidence with the hadith that prove that child marriage is allowed in Islam. So we can start with them. Now, the classic hadith that, proves that Aisha was married at 6 is Sahih Bukhari 5134. So here Aisha narrates that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old. Hisham said that I have been informed that Aisha remained with the Prophet for 9 years until his death. So here she openly admits that she was a child when Muhammad married her. And it gets even more interesting because in another hadith, Sahih Bukhari 6130, she tells us, she narrated, and I quote, I used to play with the dolls in the presence of the Prophet, and my girlfriends also used to play with me. When Allah's Messenger used to enter my dwelling place, they used to hide themselves, but the Prophet would call them to join and play with me. Playing with dolls and similar images was obviously forbidden, but it was allowed for Aisha at that time because she was a little girl and she didn't reach the age of puberty. So it's pretty obvious that she was a child because she was playing with dolls, and we know that playing with dolls, painting, and images, all of that is forbidden in Islam. So the fact that it was allowed for her openly admits that she was a little girl. Now, these two hadiths that I mentioned are from Bukhari, which is actually the most authentic narration of hadith. So, because there's a lot of Muslims that use the excuse by saying, oh, this is a weak hadith, or you cannot say that, but this is actually Sahih al-Bukhari. Speaking of Sahih hadiths, we can also see something similar in Sahih al-Muslim. So here we have Sahih Muslim 1422. Here Aisha narrates that Aisha reported that Allah's apostle married her when she was 6 years old, and he took her to his house when she was 9, and he died when she was 18 years old. So it's openly admitting it here as well that she was 6 years old when he married her, and she was 9 when he consummated the marriage with her. Now, these aren't the only hadiths that openly admit this. There are actually more 17 hadiths that we can list that back and accept the statement that Aisha was 6 when she got married and 9 when the marriage was consummated. There's like 17 more out there.
I think that that is time for this video. In our next episode, we're going to dive straight into the core of this machinery. We'll be exploring the various classical schools of thoughts, the mazhabs, how they codified the rules surrounding child marriage. A fair warning to our listeners, some of the legal and historical details we will uncover are very disturbing. But if you want to understand the root of the problem, we can't afford to look away. If you value deep dives, uncompromising analysis, and want to support our work, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an investigation as you go on. Finally, this project is dedicated to all the victims of Islamic child marriage, both past and present. They're still there, unfortunately. As we continue to lay bare the mechanics of these systems in the episodes to come, we do it for you, for your tears, for your pain, and for the silence that was forced upon you. You're not forgotten. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.